I've been a 911 operator for years, and I thought I'd heard it all. Panic, violence, desperation, but nothing prepared me for the call I took that night. I still sit at this console, staring at the same glowing screens, but ever since that shift, I hear things differently. Most of this job is repetition. Car wrecks, fights, alarms that turn out to be wind blowing through half-latched doors. We learn to filter chaos into neat little categories. You hear a scream, you tag it domestic. A crash, you tag it traffic. A silence, you tag it butt dial. But this call never found its category. It was 3:04 a.m., the kind of hour when the dispatch floor is silent except for the hum of electronics and the occasional slurp of lukewarm coffee. My CAD screen glowed an ocean of green. No active events, no pending calls. I was tracing the condensation ring from my water bottle when the line lit up. 911, I said, steady, professional. What's the address of your emergency? For a second, nothing, just static. Then, a sound that snapped me upright. A child's whisper. Can you send the police, please? My stomach tightened. Kid callers usually meant one of two things, a real emergency or a prank. But there was no giggle, no background chatter, just breathing. Small, uneven, frightened breathing. Okay, sweetheart, I can help you. First, I need your address. Do you know where you are? A pause. Then, I'm at home. But he's outside. I typed into CAD, possible prowler, juvenile caller. All right, what's your home address? A faint shuffle, like the receiver brushing against fabric. 39 Maple Street? I typed it in. The system pulled up an old record. The address was valid, but flagged as vacant. Foreclosed 3 years ago. My brow furrowed. 39 Maple Street, got it. What's your name? Danny. Okay, Danny, how old are you? 7. My throat got dry. I glanced at the note on CAD again. Vacant property, no residence on file. But the boy's voice was clear, trembling, too vivid to be a prank recording. Danny, you said someone's outside. Can you tell me more? His whisper dropped even lower, like he was afraid of being overheard. He's at my window. He's smiling. A chill prickled my arms. I signaled to the dispatcher beside me, mouth, possible child in danger, and she started prepping a unit. All right, Danny, I want you to stay calm. The police are on the way. Can you tell me what the man looks like? He's tall. His eyes are wrong. They don't close when he blinks. I froze. What do you mean? They stay open, but his skin moves over them, like when I close my toy box and it squeaks. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. This was either a terrified child's imagination or something far worse. Okay, I said slowly. Are you sure he's outside the window? Not inside. He's outside. But the boy's breathing quickened. He knows I'm talking to you. How do you know that? Because he's waving. I swear my heart skipped. Danny, I said, forcing calm, I need you to move away from the window. Can you go to another room? I can try. Footsteps. Light. Cautious. Then a whisper. I'm in the hallway now. Good. Stay there. The officers are close. But the CAD map told me otherwise. The little car icons were crawling toward Maple Street, 5 minutes out. Too long. Danny, is anyone else in the house with you? Your mom, dad, anyone? Silence. Then, softly, they don't live here anymore. I frowned. What do you mean? They left when the house got sick, but I stayed. I didn't want to go. My fingers stilled over the keyboard. House got sick. I scanned the property notes again. Vacant, unsafe structure, condemned after a fire in the basement. 3 years ago. Danny, I asked carefully, how long have you lived at 39 Maple Street? Always. The hair on my neck stood up. Central? Officer Ramirez crackled over radio. 214 en route, 3 minutes out. Copy, I answered, automatically. My voice sounded far away. Into the phone, I said, Danny, tell me more about the man at your window. What's he doing now? A shaky breath. He's not at the window anymore. My chest tightened. Okay, where is he? In the house. I shot a look at my partner. She mouthed, inside? I nodded, typing frantically, intruder possibly inside, juvenile caller present. Denny, listen to me carefully. Find a place to hide, somewhere small where he can't see you. Can you do that? Yes. Fabric rustled, footsteps padded, then a whisper. I'm in the closet now. Good job. Stay very quiet. The police are almost there. For a moment, all I heard was his ragged breathing. Then, a faint tap. Tap, tap, tap. Muffled. Close. Danny? What's that sound? He's knocking on the closet door. My skin crawled. Don't open it. Stay where you are. Keep the phone with you. I'm scared, he whispered. I know. You're very brave. Just stay quiet for me. The radio hissed. Central? 214 and 307 on scene at Maple. Show us checking perimeter. Relief surged through me. Danny, the officers are there. They'll find you. Can you hear them outside? A pause. Then confusion. No, but I hear him laughing. Who's laughing? The man. He says the police can't see this house. Not like it really is. A sick twist knotted in my stomach. 214, I radioed. Caller states suspect may be inside. Juvenile claims intruder near closet, advise. Ramirez came back. Central perimeter clear, house appears vacant, boarded up. No sign of entry, no child visible. I stared at the CAD. Negative 214, caller is inside. 7-year-old male named Danny. He gave this address. Central, again, house is empty, windows boarded up, no utilities connected. Looks like it's been abandoned a while. My blood ran cold. Back on the phone, I whispered, Danny, are you sure you're at 39 Maple Street? Yes, he breathed. I can see the numbers on the door. 3, 9. 214, I pressed. Confirm address, 39 Maple? Affirmative. But Central, this place looks like it hasn't been lived in for years. A thin, muffled whimper carried through the phone. He's opening the door. Danny, listen to me. I cracked. Stay hidden. Don't... A loud creak. Then silence. My heart slammed in my chest. Danny, are you there? For a long moment, nothing. Then, a whisper so faint I barely caught it. He found me. The line erupted in static. Danny! I shouted. Danny, answer me! But only static hissed back. On radio, Ramirez's voice. Central, we're breaching, stand by. A crash, wood splintering. We're inside. It's empty, completely gutted. Central, there's no child here. I gripped the phone so hard my knuckles burned. Negative, I was just speaking with him. He said he was in a closet. Central, there are no closets left. Place is stripped. Just bare walls and debris. The static on my phone softened. Then, a new sound. Faint breathing. My breath caught. Danny? Silence. Then, a whisper. But not a child's. Deeper, ragged, right against the receiver. You shouldn't have listened. The line went dead. I sat frozen, headset digging into my skin, heart slamming like a drum. My partner stared at me, wide-eyed. We pulled call logs. The incoming number traced to a disconnected landline. Disconnected 3 years ago. The official report read, "False call, vacant property, no contact." But I know what I heard. I know a little boy whispered to me, terrified, begging for help. And I know something else whispered back before the line cut. Now, every time my console lights up in the dead of night, I feel that same cold dread wash over me. Because sometimes, when I answer, all I hear is static and the faintest sound of tapping.
My name's Michael Reyes. I'm 37 years old, and I've been working as a paramedic for nearly 15 years. Long enough to think I'd seen everything. Gunshot wounds, suicide attempts, overdoses where the patient's lips were already turning blue by the time we got there. But the truth is, no matter how many years you put in, this job still finds ways to surprise you. And sometimes, it finds ways to ruin you. The call that ruined me came on a night I'll never forget. The kind where the rain won't stop pounding and thunder rolls so heavy it shakes the windows of the ambulance. It was the kind of storm we get too often here in southern Louisiana, the kind that swallows streets, floods basements, and turns whole neighborhoods into rivers overnight. Dispatch said it was a welfare check on an elderly woman, mid-70s. A neighbor had called in, reporting they hadn't seen her in a while, and with the storm flooding basements all over the county, they were worried. Simple enough. Welfare checks can go either way. Sometimes you find someone who just forgot to charge their phone. Sometimes you find a body that's been sitting in a chair for days. But when we turned onto her street, I knew this wasn't going to be simple. The road was practically a river, water rushing up over the curbs and swallowing mailboxes. Streetlights flickered, some completely out. And at the very end of the block stood her house, a sagging two-story with peeling paint sitting lower than the rest of the homes, which meant, of course, it had become a basin for all that floodwater.
We parked the rig on the highest patch of road we could find, the driest ground left, and went in on foot. Raul, my partner, muttered a curse under his breath as he slammed his door shut. The house looked wrong. The porch light glowed faintly, but every window was dark, curtains plastered against the glass from the damp. I couldn't explain why, but just standing in front of it made me feel heavy, like the air itself was pressing down on my chest. We waded up the walkway, water rising from ankle to shin. By the time we hit the porch steps, I could already smell it, that sour, mildew stench of standing water mixed with something sharper, metallic. Raul banged on the door. "EMS, ma'am, are you in there?" Nothing, just the rain hammering down. He tried the knob. It turned, creaked open. The smell hit us full force. Rot, mold, and underneath it all the coppery tang of blood. I shot Raul a look. He grimaced but pushed the door wider. Inside, the house was dim, shadows stretching long and distorted by the lightning flashes outside. The carpet squished under our boots, waterlogged and stained. Wallpaper peeled in long strips, sagging like wet skin. And the water. God. The water. It had seeped in from the back of the house, pooling knee-deep in the hallway. Furniture floated aimlessly. A chair, a lamp knocked sideways, books swollen into pulpy lumps. The deeper you looked, the blacker the water became, like it wasn't just floodwater, but something thicker, heavier. Somewhere in the house, a faint dripping, or maybe tapping, echoed steadily and slow, as if the house itself was bleeding. We called out again, "EMS, we're here to help." This time, we got an answer. A voice, thin, raspy, barely above a whisper, from upstairs. "I'm here." I froze. Raul shot me a look, eyebrows raised. Then he started wading towards the staircase, the water sloshing around his legs. I followed, the beam of my flashlight cutting through the gloom. The stairs were swollen from the flood, wood creaking with each step. The smell grew stronger as we climbed, the metallic edge sharper, until I could almost taste it. At the top of the stairs, the hallway stretched left and right, but it was the room at the far end, the one with the door ajar, that drew us. A faint light flickered inside. We moved closer, calling out again, "Ma'am, we're with EMS. Are you hurt?" That voice again, trembling. "It's so cold." We stepped into the room. It was a bedroom. Or it had been once. Now the wallpaper was bubbled and black with mold, the ceiling sagging where rainwater had leaked through. A single lamp flickered on the nightstand, casting sickly yellow light over the figure lying in bed. The old woman. She was pale, gaunt, her nightgown clinging damply to her skin. Her gray hair fanned out over the pillow like spider silk. Her eyes fixed on us as we entered, wide, glassy, and rimmed with deep purple shadows. She tried to sit up, but her arms trembled too violently. Raoul stepped forward. "Don't try to move, ma'am. We've got you. What's hurting?" Her lips cracked as she spoke. "They're in the water." Raoul frowned. "Who's in the water?" Her head turned ever so slightly toward the doorway behind us. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "The children." A chill rippled through me. I turned, shining my flashlight down the dark hall. The beam cut across peeling wallpaper, warped floorboards, and then onto the stairs. The water below was still. Too still. "Ma'am," Raoul said, trying to redirect, "we're gonna get you out of here, okay? Can you stand with our help?" But she didn't answer. Her eyes had locked on the doorway, her mouth trembling like she was fighting to form words. Then, barely audible, "Don't let them touch me." The drip echoed again, only this time it didn't sound like water hitting wood. It sounded like fingers tapping against the banister. Raoul and I exchanged a glance. His jaw tightened. "Let's move. Now!" We eased her up between us, each taking an arm. She was lighter than I expected, her thin frame barely resisting our grasp. Her skin was ice cold, her breath shallow. We started down the hall, the lamp's light fading behind us. Each step creaked loud enough to set my teeth on edge. Halfway down the stairs, it happened. The water below rippled. At first, I thought it was just the house settling, but then it rippled again, spreading outward in circles. And then I saw it. A hand. Small, pale, bloated. It broke the surface of the black water, fingers splayed wide. I stopped dead, nearly dropping the old woman. Another hand surfaced, then another. Raoul muttered, "Oh, hell no." And then the faces appeared. Children. Half a dozen, maybe more. Their heads rose just above the waterline, hair plastered to their skulls, eyes wide and unblinking. Their mouths opened in perfect unison, not with noise, but with a movement that made my stomach turn. The old woman whimpered, clutching at my sleeve. "Don't let them touch me." I snapped out of it, forcing myself to keep moving. We reached the bottom step, water lapping at my thighs now. The children's faces followed, bobbing just far enough away to stay out of reach. We waded toward the door. My heart slammed so hard I thought my chest might split open. The old woman whimpered with each splash of water, eyes darting to the children that trailed us silently. We were maybe 10 feet from the door when the first one moved. It lunged. The water erupted as small skeletal arms shot up, grasping at my legs. I kicked hard, nearly losing my balance, but Raoul steadied me, shouting, "Move, Mike!" The old woman screamed, a sound that cut through the storm outside. The children closed in, more hands than there were faces, pale, skeletal, broke the surface, grabbing at our clothes, our boots, clawing with desperate strength. Their mouths opened wider, dark hollows rimmed with torn lips, and water streamed from between them as if the flood itself poured out of those mouths. We fought our way forward, each step a battle. My flashlight swung wildly, beams catching glimpses of hollow eye sockets, swollen tongues, teeth chattering as if from cold. One of them grabbed my wrist. Its grip was like iron, skin slimy and cold. I yanked, but it held fast, nails digging into my flesh. Raoul slammed his fist down on its hand, and with a sickening snap, the fingers bent backward. The child sank beneath the surface without a sound. We stumbled onto the porch, slamming the door shut behind us. Rain hammered down, the storm somehow louder than before. But the sound from inside was louder still. Hands, more than they should have been, pounded against the wood. Tiny fists drummed in a rhythm that made my stomach churn. We half carried, half dragged the old woman across the waterlogged yard, fighting against the weight of the water, until we reached the street. The rig was parked on the highest patch of road we could find, and by the time we hauled her inside, my arms were shaking. I jumped in beside her as Raoul floored it, the tires squealing on slick pavement. Inside, I tried to get vitals, but my hands wouldn't stop shaking. The old woman clutched at my wrist, her grip surprisingly strong. She whispered, "They wanted me. They've always wanted me." I leaned closer. Who are they? Her eyes rolled back, her lips curling into a faint smile. The children in the water. The monitor flatlined. No pulse. I started compressions, adrenaline fueling me, but her body was limp, unresponsive. A few minutes into compressions, Raoul shouted from the cab, "We're 5 out from the hospital, how is she?" I sat back, breath heaving, sweat mixing with the damp stench of floodwater still clinging to my clothes. "She's gone." We rode the rest of the way in silence, the storm raging around us. At the hospital, a nurse called, "Reyes, room 3 is ready." I stepped out and filled the report with trembling hands. Elderly female, found in flooded residence, unresponsive on transport. But I didn't write what I saw. I didn't write about the hands in the water, or the faces that stared at me with eyes too wide, too empty. I didn't write about how, when we finally shut the rig and climbed out at the hospital, my boots met wet footprints on the rig's floor, small prints leading from the stretcher to the back doors. No one else had been inside. And I sure as hell didn't write about the whisper I heard as I closed the rig for the night. A child's voice, faint but clear, rising from the drain at my feet. "Come back. We're still waiting."